This is the final project for Juan Pablo Solano for the class Sentiment Analytics and Lee 52090 2017. My project is based on Twitter, so I'm gonna give a brief description in the slides that are coming. So basically here is the project scope and description. So the project was centered on Twitter as the platform where the data was pulled out and analyzed. Python was the software used to determine the conclusion and steps to get to a final result. The project consists of doing a deep analysis on Donald Trump's tweets and determining the characteristics of the language he uses for them. The characteristics are divided in positive or negative, depending on his tone, expressions, and grammatical composition of each tweet. The final conclusion will determine the tone of Trump's tweets. The project started here, so the first step of the project consisted in getting the Twitter API to work and link it to my account, my personal account. In this portion, we're getting the access token and the access token secret. So if you see here, I access the developer portal of Twitter and I sign up to get the API from them. So if you see here, we have the access token secret, the access level, and the owner that does my Twitter account, Juan Pablo Sola 13, and the owner ID. Here, there's another screenshot of the consumer key API. So here you see the API that Twitter is using, the API secret, the access level, one more time the owner that is my account, and the owner ID. So everything was linked, the Twitter API was linked to my account, and here we can see that. So why I pull out the Twitter API? Since Donald Trump is using Twitter as one of the channels for social media, I found an opportunity to get the data and extract data from them directly. So I'm gonna call their APIs. The second step was machine learning. I'm gonna define this as machine learning. So it consisted in setting a simple code in Python, getting the confirmation values from the text blob classification. The first step was to include or install the code pip install utextblock nltk. The second one is include the code in the Python terminal, Python m textblock download corpora. And now we were ready to insert some commands to train the machine to identify and classify tests. With this classifier, basically what we're doing is we're giving the output to see if the language or the sentence that we're including there are positive or negative. So I'm gonna show that in the next slide. So here you can see, there are some examples of positive and negative sentence here, and we make the system to be able to classify them. We train the machine to identify certain words and give an output. So here you see, I'm gonna give you an example. We use the code train equal open and then test equal open. So here we see we were including I love this sandwich, which is positive. We are using the word love, so we're training the system to say like, okay, love, that's positive. This is an amazing place, is positive, the tone. And let's check another sentence that is in a negative language. So I do not like this restaurant. Of course, do not is a negative use. So we're teaching the difference between positive and negative to the machine. So here, for example, I'm tired of this stuff and I can deal with this. He is my sworn enemy. All of them negative. So here we're doing the differentiation between positive and negative. And then here we're testing it. Okay, so the next step of this project consisted in I installed two different softwares. The first one is PIP and Tweepy. These two softwares, are used to extract information from different platforms, and in specific here from Twitter. So using these two platforms, we generated a script with the help of them, and to pull out the data directly from Twitter. using, of course, the Twitter API. We included the Twitter tokens and API information here on top. Here you can see consumer API, consumer secret, access key, and access secret. So we were calling that API, and then using the script that well, I work in some parts of it, but the script was there. We were able to export the tweets in a CSV file. Okay. If you see, well, I did 2 screenshots because the script was really long, but if you see a second one, here at the end of it, you can see the account of Donald Trump, that is real Donald Trump. So we're exactly pulling out the information from his account, okay? Okay, so the CSV extraction. The first step after running before running a script, I'm sorry, is to change the directory to my desktop containing the script, and then use the command python ./tweets.py, that is the name of the script, and then it exported a CSV file and save it on my computer. So this file, when I opened the file, I found different columns and different type of information here. So the first one was the Twitter ID, the date that the tweet was made, the tweet itself, the text of it, and the retweeting count and the favorite count. So we have all these columns with all these type of information. Okay, so one of the most important phases of this project was the data cleaning or data cleansing. So as a total, the CSV file contained 3,204 rows of data with 5 columns. So it was a pretty much big file. Sorting the data with the most recent tweets was required in my project. At the end, 57 tweets were chosen to be part of the test and sample. Why not the whole amount of tweets? Because Donald Trump was, well, before being a president, he was tweeting a lot of, different topics about business, his interests, golfing. So I wanted to focus on the politics side and the president side of Donald Trump. So I pick up 57 tweets. They were one of the most representative ones, and it was they were also the last ones that he made. Okay, so as I was explaining, the CSV file contained the date, the tweet ID, the text, the tweet count, and favorite count. For this project, since I'm gonna basically classify those tweets or the sentences if they are positive or negative, I don't need the ID and I don't need a lot of information. So I inserted a code that only was pulling the information from the text of the tweet. So I was actually erasing the whole, let's say, the other columns that were interfering with the final analysis. Okay. The final script. After the data cleansing and organization, I create a final script including the Twitter API with the positive and negative classifier directed with a code that only will bring the text of a tweet, as I was explaining. So here you see a script now. It has the Twitter API and the classifier of the positive negative in the same script. Okay, as well as the actions performed on the tweet help me focus on getting the correct information. As I was saying, I only included the code that says that please pull out the information only from the text of the tweet. So I was basically ignoring the rest of the columns and rows that didn't have anything to do with it. Okay, when I run this script in Python, the result that I obtained was this one. So if you see here in the screenshot, you see in the first word that appears is a tweet word. Then it goes with a real tweet. So it says, for example, I'm gonna give you an example. The first one, the fake media, not real media, has gotten even worse since the election. Every story is badly slanted. We have to hold them to the truth. Of course, So since we already included the classifier and we put out this data from the account of Donald Trump, then the software was giving us a negative connotation. So it was classifying that tweet as is neg, that is negative. Another thing that I did is I wanted to count in every tweet and give and take a count per tweet. So to identify like which were negative, which were positive, and I wanted to have a line that it was basically telling me a consolidated count of every tweet. So if you see for the first one, I had positive 10 different tweets that were positive and negative there were 6. In the second one, let's say tweet a great book for your reading enjoyment, Reasons to Vote for Democrats by Michael J. Knowles is positive. So if you see, it changed the positive to 11 compared to the last one that I had at 10, and the negative was still the same. So let's say, for example, the last one, the recent Kansas election Congress was a really big media event until the Republicans won. Now they play the same game with Georgia, bad. Of course, he's using the word bad, so it's negative. And if you see, since the last one was negative too, we have a count of positive 11, negative 8. So as an output, we had we categorized the tweet if it was positive or negative, and to count them by category to have a name count at the end of the report. So here you find the results. So in total, I analyzed 57 tweets, and 30 of them were positive and 27 were negative. The conclusion. It was a surprise to see that out of 57 tweets analyzed by the classifier, 30 were positive. That means that Donald Trump in the past weeks have changed his incendiary language and has implemented a more conservative approach on social media. I wasn't expecting that, to be sincere. I was expecting to see a really big number in the negative count from the tweets, because when I see or I turn on the news or I read the tweets that he posts all the time, I only see a negative connotation, some negative vocabulary. But it was great to see that he's changing that approach, and now the positive were higher than the negative itself. And another conclusion that I can state is that failure and disaster are the two of the most used words when the president decides to switch his speech to a negative message. So he includes failure and disaster in most of his tweets when he's trying to post something and blame somebody or create controversy. So that's basically a conclusion. So I'm really happy to have the opportunity to build this small project. It's my first time that I use Python. I didn't have any experience on it, so it was great to learn different tools, different codes, different. This is a different language, so it's great to see all the parts come true and actually show you a result. So this is my small project. I'm glad that I was able to do it, and the results are clear. So thank you. Here, well, in the last one, you can find the sources, and that's it. Thank you so much. Bye bye.